Oh, that's sick.
I need to rep it.
Is that
It's a
vintage?
thrift.
It looks kind of like a
Yeah,
vintage
it was
shirt.
a thrift find.
That's sick. I have a shirt that
But
says "Things in my spare time: play football, watch football, research football, talk about football." In fact, I just hate football, so I don't know why I'm wearing this.
I hate football as well. Yeah, I've been reading a Revolutionary War book all day long. Now I get to do this.
Well, what is going on, y'all? This is the Caveman. I'm here with Football with Oz Austin for episode 84 of Against the Blitz, and we are recording mid week 18. This has just been such a riveting week that we felt like, riveting is the wrong word. This has been such a piss poor week that we just felt like, it's fine. We don't need to stay up until 1 a.m. to recap this week. And we can instead talk about the all pro team of our choice. So we're going to predict the all pro, go through the team. We're doing it based off of what the NFL structure was last year. So we'll go through and tell you how many players per position that we're going to be listing. We'll give honorable mentions, guys that we would have on our second team if time allows. But yeah, all pro team. This was one of the first episodes we did in our podcast's history. In fact, this is around the time we started.
It is, yeah, and it's kind of fun looking back to see like it's been like a full year of football. Like we're finally done with the regular season. Thank God. I am so over it. We're at the point of the season where Brandon Allen starts getting like reasonable football snaps. I can't watch it anymore. Just teleport me into the playoffs. We have one more game, which will be done by the time this is even able to be viewed. But the Steelers and the Ravens game is like the game that I was really looking forward to this week. So we get that one next. But for now, we're going to be going over the guys at each position that we think were the best at each position. We're not talking about value. We're not having that MVP discourse in here. No strength of schedule arguments. Just the guys that you think were straight up the best.
Yes, and there are a lot of positions that feel chalk, but some that definitely will be up for debate. So we might as well start with the biggest one, and that would be, of course, the quarterback position. And we all know where this conversation, this debate stands right now. It's either you're pro Drake Maye or you're pro Matthew Stafford. And last year was the first time in a while where the all-pro team quarterback and the MVP didn't align. Will we have another year of that, do you think?
I think so. I think predictably, Drake Maye just has like the storyline to win MVP right now. Like the Patriots have been kind of shitty the last 3 years. Then he comes in and he takes them to the playoffs. They win a bunch of games. He's pretty efficient. That's an MVP to me. But I think my all-pro selection, Matthew Stafford, has been the most impressive quarterback. I think he's definitely been the best quarterback. So you can argue value and, weapons all day long, but I think it's pretty easy to say Matthew Stafford's been the best QB on paper and on tape.
Yeah, Stafford has been, the MVP favorite for a majority of this season. I think he would have been the favorite had that stinker a couple of weeks ago not occurred on national television and the narrative wouldn't have suddenly shifted against him. But it's just not fair to kind of, put that game under a microscope when he has been just tearing top-level pass defenses apart all season long. And I'm sitting here asking myself, who would I go with for this award? Because I'm finding it difficult to pick one for, the All-Pro and one for the MVP. I had a hard time doing it last year. I picked Josh for both. And that in this case, I don't know, man. Like I think I'm getting peer pressured. Maybe I'm just getting peer pressured. I wrote down Drake Maye. I wasn't happy about it. I'm still not happy about it. In this, as we speak, Stafford throws for 304. It just is a very tough conversation to get into because I was explaining to Austin before the recording started that I was pro Josh Allen last year. If I'm going to be pro Josh Allen last year, I feel slightly hypocritical to be, pro Stafford this year because it's kind of the same thing of, value to team versus pure production on field or on the stat sheet. So I'm going to stick with Drake Maye. I'm going to stick to what I feel is true. regrettably, only because I saw him, as I explained earlier to him too. I was at the Bills-Patriots game the first time they played, and that was one of the few circumstances this season where I thought Maye had to be that superpower, and he was. And he was unstoppable against a defense that always seems to find a way to get the other quarterback to crack, like in the second time they played the Patriots, for example. And that was, if he had more of those opportunities, I think I could safely say he would have done the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the end all be all like production equals first team all pro kind of guy for me, but I think the gap in production pretty comfortably already kind of gives me that for Stafford. And I think Drake Maye has executed an incredible amount of very difficult throws, but I think Matthew Stafford has executed the same level of throws day in and day out. And like you said, I think he's done it against much better competition. I think he does have the better receivers, but Patriots receivers have made a lot of plays this season. Like very rarely have they left a game where I'm like, wow, they let him down. Like the Patriots receivers really let him down. I haven't thought that all year. In fact, I've had a couple games where I'm like, wow, they have caught everything that he has thrown to them, which is partially like he throws a good catchable ball. Like that's a skill of his. But God, watching Stafford throw is like, this is one of the best quarterback seasons I've ever watched in my lifetime. I can't just like not give him all pro. Like Drake Maye's been so good, and the narrative is so good too. Like I have no problem with him being MVP, even though I also think it's Stafford. I have no problem with it. First team all pro, I think just like the best quarterback I've watched this year feels like it's definitely been Stafford.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I want to go with Stafford. I just feel like I said, for reasons relating to last year, I just can't go against it. But you make a very good point. The narrative that the Patriots skill position group isn't good or isn't quite up to par Maye isn't dragging these guys along. Like Stephon Diggs is up to the highest contested catch percentage of his career in 2025 at the age of, 31 years old. We have Kayshon Boutte, who is near the top of catch rate over expected metrics per NFL Pro. Like he's been a great weapon downfield. Hunter Henry is having another good season. The running backs like Ramondre Stevenson, everybody hated, but especially down the stretch here, the guy's got like 5 or 6 touchdowns in the last few weeks. Travion Henderson finally was getting the football when he had to step in for Stevenson, and he was breaking big runs off left and right. So there is this narrative that exists that Stafford gets Nakua and Devontae, and Maye gets like these bottom-feeding low lives to throw to, and Maye's pulling them on this dog sled. But really, I think both casts have been very, very beneficial to their quarterback. And, maybe against some harder opponents, we would see the discrepancy in skill positional groups. But as far as what both quarterbacks had to work with, I think they both were equipped with the proper skill around them to have the seasons they've had. So it's just, man, fuck, I hate this conversation so much.
I know.
I hate it.
It's so annoying because it always goes to the factor of, well, Stafford's receivers were really, really good. Or Drake Maye's, schedule was like the easiest in 3 decades. Like, it's annoying. So that's why I scrapped all that. And like for all pro, I just went, who did I feel like was better? Who had the better production? Whose film did I enjoy more? I felt Stafford just had the edge on him there, but Drake Maye comfortably would be my second team all pro, and it wouldn't even be close. Like the third place is well behind now.
Yeah, same here. Maye's, if I go Maye all pro 1, then Stafford's, AP 2. So yeah, it's not clear cut. Let's just be clear. I think that's where people need to stop acting like it's obviously Drake Maye. That's part of me that drives me nuts too. Going with Maye is because there is a big movement on social media right now that is very pro Drake Maye. Oh, it's so obviously Drake Maye. Like how could people even argue this? And that was a lot of what we heard for Lamar last year. And I was sitting here like going insane trying to explain my case for Josh, but here I am voting for the guy that, everyone is kind of doing that all over again for. So yeah, it'll be close. It'll be interesting to see what the all-pro guys think, because I think those guys are pro Stafford a lot more than the public is.
Yes, I think this looks very similar to last season, where I think Stafford's having a very Lamar season where the production, you almost have to like second guess it because of how good it is. Like you almost are shocked by the 47 passing touchdowns he has now. That's alien level. But yeah, I think the MVP guys try to add a little bit more nuance, a little bit more of that kind of stuff to it. So if I was doing that, it would be a lot closer.
I mean, the guy went on he broke the streak. Matthew Stafford broke the streak for most touchdown passes thrown in a row without throwing a pick with 28 straight this season against a top 3 pass defense schedule per DVOA. That was the stat I read. So he's been going against these ridiculously tough defenses. He won 28 straight touchdown passes without throwing a pick. That's fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
God. Well, I think a position that was, in my opinion, a little bit more transparent was the running back position. I went with Bijan Robinson as my first team All-Pro, first in scrimmage yards, first in missed tackles forced. He was second in yards after contact per attempt. The guy, this is before today's game, which I'm sure the numbers probably were not even affected as such, is averaging 6.5 yards per touch this season, which is insane for the amount of work he's gotten. Like that's over half a first down, well over half a first down every time he's got the ball in his hands. And it's another one of those guys where the tape marries the production. Like he's one of the most aesthetically pleasing, beautiful running backs to ever lay your eyes on. So, I mean, am I wrong?
No, he's hot. But yeah, I also have Bijan Robinson, or whatever, however it's supposed to be pronounced. Bijan Robinson. He like it was Jonathan Taylor and James Cook have had unbelievable seasons, and their production's also incredible. But what Robinson does as a receiver, I think definitely will give him the edge because he's only just behind those guys in like pure rushing statistics. And then you add on the receiving stats and he blows them out of the water. Some people might argue CMC because he almost did 1,000 at 1,000 again, but with the efficiency of Bijan, I'm gonna keep saying it. And like just like you said, the eye test. This is one of the best passings of the eye test I've ever seen. Like I think someday, like they're gonna throw me in like a padded room full of like blocks, and I'm gonna be screaming about how he's the best running back I've ever watched with my own eyes. And they're like, "You're just a loon." Put him in the padded room again, and I'm gonna be screaming like, "This is the best running back I've ever seen." Because it kind of like low key is like since LT or A, like I have never seen somebody move this way on a football field. It's insane.
It is. It's like I almost feel like we don't appreciate it enough. And I find myself feeling that way about a lot of the best players in the league right now. Like this guy can cut on a dime so fast, but also so elegantly. Like he never stumbles. It never takes him an extra step to make a move. It's all there's zero wasted movement with this guy. And he might not have the craziest Jahmyr Gibbs like afterburners ever, but he can still pull away. And I think that really, if he was like a tad slower, I think it would really hinder him as far as being a running back goes. But he's got just enough speed to be able to go 93 yards for a touchdown. So
yes,
he's got enough of that, plus the elusiveness, the pass catching. There really is nothing that Bijan can't do. So I feel like this was a runaway for the position.
It wasn't even close. Like even though there are other running backs that have very much earned like an honorable mention, like Jonathan Taylor, like James Cook, even if their production was on top of his, just the eye test alone just crushes them, honestly. Like he's by far RB1 in my head for the league.
Yeah, I would agree. For an AP2, would you have gone to McCaffrey then?
No, I think I don't know. I have a really hard time, and this was something I struggled with when making this list, was ignoring things people did earlier in the year. I think I might still give it to Jonathan Taylor and give him the benefit of the doubt of he was killing it until his entire team got destroyed. And then he just got sent home with like 9-man boxes and he had no chance. Like when they had a reasonably balanced passing attack, he was by far the best in the league. So I think I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt. I think I'd even have James Cook right there. But CMC, what he does, it's like a different position. Like I almost want to put him as like a utility. As a pure running back, he doesn't even touch them. But what he does, like overall, as like a utility player, could easily be number 2.
That's why I would have him at AP2, just for the sheer fact that he had over 100 catches this year. As you mentioned, almost hit the 1,000 mark for receiving and rushing yards. And he just holds so much gravity on the field. Like, everyone knows where the ball is going 90% of the time. A quarterback on the 49ers, it doesn't matter who it is, either Mac Jones, Brock Purdy, they're going to McCaffrey just because of how integral he is to the way the operation works. And in a season where they were switching between quarterbacks because of injuries and so many other guys on the skill position group going down, he was able to stay healthy with so much volume and be the engine to what's been a very, very good season relative to preseason expectations. So it's kind of hard for me not to give him credit for that alone. Like, he's just so powerful.
Yeah.
Really.
I'll put him at my wide receiver 3 spot. I think that's fair.
That is fair.
But did you put so you had 3 wide receivers for your selection?
I did, yes.
I wonder if this is even debatable.
It's not.
Would it be JSN, Puka, and George Pickens?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I don't think it even requires explanation.
No. Like, some people will argue Amon-Ra because he's having a really good year and he's had a really good end, and Pickens has had a pretty slow end. But like, looking at the big picture, like what George Pickens has done, he's been outstanding. And I don't think JSN and Puka even deserve like an explanation. They've had historically great years. But George Pickens, like, I think even like people have acknowledged he's had a great year, but he's had like 1,400 yards. He's had a great season.
He has. And I think for Pickens too, it's like we all thought that there was a lot of potential with him going to Dallas and what it could be with Dak and next to CeeDee Lamb. But I don't think we really thought it could reach these levels of production to the point where we're questioning if he's the best receiver in Dallas, at times throughout the season, because of how good he was in every given scenario. He was becoming Dak's preferred option, and it really didn't matter whether it was a downfield shot one-on-one, whether it was, a crossing pattern where he's getting yards after catch. Like, he was good in almost every possible situation. So you can't debate it. And I really feel like if you added another 3 for AP2, I didn't think much about this either. There were so many good receivers to begin the year, and then it just felt like for circumstances along the way, guys got derailed and it left for a chalk top 6. Like, who are your 3 next if you picked?
Off the top of my head, I think I got Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, then probably like Nico Collins. I'm not entirely sure who like that 6th guy would be, but definitely Jamar and Amon-Ra are definitely my next 2.
Yes. Yep. Agreed. And these are guys that kind of get lost in seasons that were just not great for their respective teams, but they still went out there and produced. They still went out there and did their thing. And my 6th receiver was Chris Olave.
Yeah, that's also fair. Yeah.
He got hot late. He kind of had an inverse season to a lot of the guys we've been talking about, where the first portion of it was pretty silent, but he has just started to light it up down the stretch. And other than that, Nico, but I think he was held back for a number of reasons with quarterbacks being shifted in and out. And same thing with Drake London. He got hurt. He would have been well on his way to being on this list, but he was injured and the quarterback situation went to shit. So it sucks. I feel like this is the first time in a while where the receivers really don't require much deliberation.
No, it's the first, they're usually the most arguable because their production is usually so similar. There's one guy that Cooper Kupp's the year, and then 4 guys that all have the same production. But yeah, we have 3 guys that kind of just blew him out the water. Easy enough. And same with tight end. I would say it's safe to say.
Yeah, I mean, Trey McBride. Do we have to say anything else?
He was my tight end 1 preseason. I am happy about it. I think even if Brock Bowers stays healthy and everyone else stays healthy, I think this is a historically great season. I think he's still definitely the best tight end in the league, regardless.
Yeah, you don't break a receptions record by accident, whether it's in garbage time or not. It is still one of those he still has, gravity, as we were talking about with McCaffrey.
Yes.
Like, he holds so much weight in that offense. Everyone knows where Brissett or Murray, even when he was playing, wants to go with the football. Like, he legitimately is used in so many capacities. Finally, in the red zone, underneath, he gets screens. He gets like 2 or 3 screens a game. I feel like, he's the intermediate option everywhere. It's the Trey McBride show, really.
He would be in my top 6 receiving, like, AP receivers. Like, I would have him in that 6th spot. Like, I would probably have Jamar and Amon-Ra over him, but then, like, McBride's right there in that 6th spot, which is crazy for a tight end, especially with how good receivers have been this year. But yeah, I mean, the guy, everyone was convinced he was like an awful red zone guy, and then he comes out and gets 11 touchdowns this season and just blows it out the water. So he's answered really all the questions I had. If he can be a red zone guy too, this guy is probably the best tight end in football.
Yeah, definitely. It will be interesting to see how Brock responds in a healthy season with hopefully better quarterback play and different coaching. But yeah, I mean, everyone was so big on Bowers thinking he'd have a season like this. And meanwhile, here's Trey McBride just, hey guys, here I am.
Yeah. And not getting that talked about that much.
No.
For being how good he is, like, it's really weird.
It is, because Bowers, I mean, he was a rookie. He did a lot of crazy things as a rookie. But yeah, it's like that was a similar season for Vegas in the sense of, like, it was dog shit and Bowers was just the main target on a bad team and the whole 9 yards. It's the same thing, except this is what McBride's 3rd year, right? I think
he's young. I think second or I think he was 2021, 2022, one of those two in the draft. So yeah, he's not old by any means. He's still not even in his prime yet, age wise. So yeah, I mean, if preseason, if I were to say he's the best tight end in football, I would have been killed, which is so strange because he's been so good the entire time. But yeah, now I think it's probably the right thing to say.
Absolutely. Well, how about left tackle? We'll start with the offensive line. Where did you go with this one?
I went Garrett Bowles to start off my left tackle spot. Like, definitely one of those seasons where you don't hear about him, and that's an awesome thing. Because he's not special. He's just like a tall Mormon drink of water that's been just killing people. He's been great.
Yeah, I also chose Garrett Bowles. He was famously known for that interview a couple of years ago where I don't know what the reporter asked him, but it prompted him to say, I'm just sick of losing. Like, I basically hate my life. This is terrible. Like, it was just an absolute low point. And now here we are a couple of years later. Sean Payton has installed such a friendly system for everybody involved. And Bowles is having a fantastic season. He's got teammates around him having, all pro level seasons as well. It's hard to go against a year like this. Like, I think there are a couple of guys that definitely could get the nod here, which I think will be fair to mention in a second. But no matter what person I listen to, whatever metric I look at, whatever game film I view myself, everything works together. Everything is telling one tale. Although I think Trent Williams definitely deserves some love too. It's like, holy fuck. This is like the closest thing to what Brady did post 40 from another position that I can think of in the modern era.
I think it's more impressive because he's legitimately having to be like a physical monster. Like Brady, like he was mostly brain, and your brain doesn't go away. Like he kept his body in shape, but like what Trent Williams is having to do, he's still probably one of the most athletic linemen in the league. That's why it's insane. Like he's still taking care of his body this well. He's just a specimen.
Yeah, he comfortably would be my second team all pro. Like for him to move the way he is, run blocking, like it shouldn't be allowed. And the fact that he's been healthy all season long, he's had, health issues throughout the course of his career, but we're reaching near 40 years old. He played every game but one, which was this past week, week 18. And he's been fantastic outside of a couple, moments throughout the course of the season, which everyone has. And he's 37. Like, you got to cut the guy some slack at some point. So,
yes,
all pro second team would comfortably be Trent Williams. Inside at the left guard spot, where did you go?
I felt this one kind of chalky. I put Quentin Nelson for this one, who's kind of not mostly, but very largely responsible for how good the Colts offense was in the beginning of the year. Like, he kept Daniel Jones clean for the first time in his career, and he just paved holes for Jonathan Taylor all year long.
Yeah, it's hard, especially like I think Tanner Bortolini, that's his name, right? I think that's how you say his fucking name.
Yes.
Their center, he missed some time. I know that Bernard Ryman missed some time too. So it's like you also want to factor in what he's dealing with and the teammates he has around him. Like Garrett Bowles, for example, that offensive line across the board is pretty solid, pretty healthy, a very cohesive unit. The same can be said about the Colts offensive line when it's all playing together, but there have been rotations, different units out there, and Quentin has been able to just kind of work his way through it and be Quentin Nelson, really. It feels like a few years have passed where we haven't seen prime Quentin Nelson, but 2025, along with, Jonathan Taylor and co, we saw, that peak Quentin again a lot of the time. Like, still one of the best pullers in football, if not the best, easily.
He's definitely the scariest puller I've borderline ever seen. Like, he's 335 and he's so fast, and it hits so hard, and he's still like not that old. I think he's working on maybe 6 first-team All-Pros in his career, and he's probably he might not even be the best version of himself just yet. So this might be like a Hall of Fame guy that we talk to our kids about. Be like, yeah, this guy had like 10 first-team All-Pros in his career. He's kind of insane. That's kind of what I think that he's working his way to right now.
Yeah, there's not many offensive linemen that get to be household names, but Quentin Nelson, like most football fans hear Quentin Nelson and like, yeah, I know who that is. He's very good at football, and that is the general sentiment. And it's hard, it's tough to achieve that sort of status when you're a guard, especially like maybe a tackle, but when you're a guard, I think that is very, very difficult to reach that sort of standing. So fantastic year from Quentin. I wanted to give a shout out to somebody that I learned more about while planning for this, and this was Peter Skoronski for Tennessee. He's been great this year. I was listening to the Trench Warfare podcast, and they started raving about him, so I started to watch him, and I started to look at some of his numbers. Like, Cam Ward was sacked the most out of any quarterback in football this year. Skoronski allowed just 2 sacks and 1 quarterback hit, with whatever the fuck else he had around him. The corpse of Kevin Zeitler and whoever else was on that offensive line that I can't even think of right now. Dan Moore. Like, he eclipsed 1,000 snaps, which is important. And to just be such a strong, like, he's such a strong guy. Like, I was watching some of his reps. Jesus Christ. Like, he's just so powerful. And that's what Cam Ward needs, is that sort of presence on the interior. And hopefully over the next couple of years, there's 1 or 2 other guys that appear on that offensive line that could play alongside that, because he's just a man. He's a man.
And he's 24.
Mm-hmm.
He's like really young. Like, he was such a boring draft pick. Like, here's this short-armed white guy from Northwestern. Let's take him top 12. Yeah, cool. Everyone gave him like a C for that pick. He's now like a legit Pro Bowl caliber guard. So I think that's an A+ to me.
Agreed. Center was probably the most obvious choice of this entire list. You don't think so?
I fuck Creed Humphrey.
What?
Boring ass dude. I hate Creed Humphrey. He's
not
so
Creed.
lame.
You think it's Creed?
No. I've only seen people put Creed.
Oh, yeah. No, not Creed.
Who did you put?
Aaron Brewer.
Yes, thank God.
Aaron Brewer. Comfortably, yes. Aaron Brewer.
Yes. But no, everyone puts freaking Creed Humphrey down because PFF has him like 8 spots higher than everybody else. I tried to look at other lists that people made to see if I'm like a maniac for some of my choices, and I was like, I'm not being convinced that I'm crazy for having Aaron Brewer at All-Pro 1. He's so good.
Devon Achane owes that man like a lot, like a gift, like the quarterback's gift, offensive lineman stuff, for protecting them all year. Devon Achane sprung the most 15-yard rushes in the league, and a lot of it was to do with Aaron Brewer. Like, him on the second level moving is like, it's explosive. It's weird to describe an offensive lineman as explosive, but like, he really does get downfield, and clears paths constantly. And Achan's fast, of course. He's been doing this since he got in the league, but you need someone out in front clearing the way, and he's been doing it all season long to the point where I think AP2 is closer to AP3 than AP2 is to AP1. That's how good Brewer was.
He's been incredible. He's been so good. And he was a former Titan too. Like, he's a guy that I really wish they could have held on to, because he's young enough where, like, he had some struggles, obviously, as like a 280-pound center would have. And he's definitely gotten a lot stronger. And I would say he's faster than Samaje Perine. I think I think if you give them both the football, I think he beats him in a race. I'm not even lying.
He might.
I think he's faster than, like, most linebackers. Like, I bet he's faster than Matt Milano. You put them both in a race. Like, I think he's like, he's so fast, and it's terrifying. And like you said, like, Achan is incredible, but I think what they owe a lot of that offensive success to is having a really good center that can just peel out and be 20 yards downfield by the time by the time Devon Achan catches the pitch. Like, it's such a fun thing they got going on. Like, I wish they could just retool. I don't think they need to rebuild. I think they can just retool. Like, they have some really good pieces, and their center is like the main one. Then him and Achan, I think you can really build an offense around.
100%. Like you mentioned, he's not a big guy. He's 6 foot, like he's 280, right?
He's a small center in the league, 100%.
Yes, he's small, but he just is so physical. And he played banged up this year too at times, and he had some questionable guard play. Like, Savanaya was out there stinking it up for a period of time. Like, and it just didn't matter. It just did not phase the level of football he was playing. And, this is a quick passing offense, a lot of screens. It's gimmicky. So the pass protection at times, you could question, like, the degree of difficulty, if you will. But even still, like, only giving up 1 sack with Tua behind you, Quinn Ewers for a bit, 1 quarterback hit, only 12 pressures all year. Like, you could not have looked at a center and picked anyone else for this, really.
No. I thought you were going to go Creed Humphrey, because that's what everyone put. And I was so upset. I was like, no, it's not him. It's not him. It's Aaron Brewer. And I've been giving Brewer his flowers for a long time, but this is his best season. And I think he's got a couple more really good all-pro level seasons to come.
If he can if he can continue this momentum, it won't take long for, it sounds like McDaniel is sticking around, for him to kind of restructure this offense. I think if they could find a quarterback, even Ewers has not looked like a complete terrorist for the short time he's been playing for Miami. So if they can get an offseason with someone competent, with Aaron Brewer under center, and really build around the run game that it sounded like they were trying to do this year, who knows? Who knows? But shout out Aaron Brewer. Shout out Zach Frazier, too. I even skipped Creed Humphrey for my AP2. I went Zach Frazier for AP2. He was my AP2 last year. I thought he was tremendous as a rookie.
Yeah. And Creed Humphrey's good. It's just, he's so boring.
Yeah.
He's not peeling out 20 yards downfield, hitting like 21 miles an hour on these screens and laying people out. He's just fine. He's solid. He's good.
Yes. Who'd you have at right guard?
I had Quinn Miners as my right guard. I gave a lot of flowers to this Broncos line. He's just one of those old school barrel-chested just dogs. He's just a big freaking bulldog playing right guard, and I like his game a lot.
Mm-hmm. He really fits that Broncos identity the same way that all those guys do. And he was my all pro second team. I put Kevin Dotson first team.
Yeah,
I think, kind of just for the sake of being slightly different, I think Dotson makes a lot of second, third teams that you'll see coming out over the next few weeks. But I wanted to give him flowers, being first team. Like, Stafford's having a fantastic year, but he's been kept clean. Like, we went into 2025 being concerned about his back. There were pass protection issues at the end of last year that really disrupted the offense. And they've been things of the past, and a lot of credit to Kevin Dotson, like, especially on the ground game too. They haven't been the worst rushing attack ever this season, which has been a story for them.
They've been genuinely good.
Yes. So I went with Kevin Dotson there. Very strong player. And of course, right tackle can be said. A lot of the same things can be said about Penei Sewell, who will be everyone's AP1 at right tackle.
He should be protector of the year. I'm worried that the injury, missing a couple games, and their team success will take him away from that. But he very well should be protector of the year as well.
Yeah, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. This one feels like a shoe-in, to be honest. But I do think a shoe-in purely because of his name value too. Like, this is a big name matched with a great season. It just kind of goes hand in hand. I'll say it's chalk because I think that's 100% where it goes. But I think Aaron Brewer could certainly be in that conversation too.
I won't fight it. I will not fight it.
I will not either. I'd be very pleased. I'd be shocked.
I'd be shocked, but I would be very happy.
Yes, me too.
All right.
Edge rushers. Who'd you have there?
All right. Well, I had Myles Garrett, obviously, the now NFL single season sack leader, after one of like the fastest get-offs I've ever seen in my life. Then I put Will Anderson. A lot of different guys I could have gone here. I thought Aiden Hutchinson was great. I thought Max Crosby was great. Daniil Hunter, his teammate, was great. But I feel like Will Anderson's also like the best like upcoming guy that I think will probably be the best edge in the league when Garrett goes down. And he had a great season this year. Hard not to give it to him.
I'm like really begging for us to choose someone different at some point here. Like, yeah, I went with Garrett and I went with Will Anderson as well. The sack numbers might not be as high as some people would like, but to have 92 pressures per PFF is like fucking insane. And that wasn't even including today. He had 35 quick pressures per NFL Pro. He was accredited with 4 turnovers caused by pressures that he generated, which was tied for first. I think you described it perfectly in terms of rapidly progressing players. Like, he is on that list and at the top. It feels like every single season he is getting better. It started off him being, a disruptive pass rusher, very good run defender. But ever since then, it's, the run defending ability has always been there. And he's just been climbing in terms of his skills being a pass rusher. And he is really, obviously, a lot of other reasons why the Texans defense is great. But without Will Anderson, this is a completely shattered core, truthfully.
It is. It is. I think upcoming next, I think we can find some more differences. I think those still were like the two guys that I do see most common on all pro teams.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I were to have looked elsewhere, even though Micah got hurt, I think Parsons was playing at such a high level, I'd be willing to forego the lack of games or the lack of snaps comparatively, at least, and still give it to him. And Aiden Hutchinson too has had a fantastic year. I know he catches a lot of flack for the only gets pressures against tight end and backup lineman allegations, but he still is the only good player on that entire defense, other than Jack Campbell. So
yeah,
he deserves love.
Well, D tackle, I think D tackle 1 felt like was very chalky. D tackle 2 has a lot of different angles. So where did you go for D tackle?
I did take Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is another player, Lamborghini in a mobile home shed kind of meme. Like, unbelievable season. There are reps I can think of off the top of my head where he was legitimately in the backfield almost at Myles Garrett speed as a D tackle, which is ridiculous that he can move like that. Even on run plays, like, do you remember the run play against the Texans where he like just blew by the center and blew it up like 4 yards back? Like, that was the kind of season he had.
I think it was like recorded as like the fastest tackle in like 5 years. It was like the fastest time to like reach the ball carrier and get him to the ground in like half a decade. It was nasty. And like, that's the kind of athlete he is. It's the kind of season he had. Like, it's not close. D tackle 1.
No, it wasn't. And I went with Chris Jones still as D tackle 2. I think, Leonard Williams you could put here. I considered, who was the other guy I considered?
I considered Quinnen Williams a little bit.
Quinnen Williams? Okay. Yeah, Quinnen Williams definitely in there. Leonard Williams. Where is this fucking list that I made? Kobe Turner. I almost had him here too.
Loki Vita Vea. I feel like every time I turn into a Bucs game, he's picking up the running back and just throwing him.
Yeah, I know, right? Without anything on his arms, it's just bare arms, no tattoos, no gloves, no anything.
It's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
Who'd you go with? Vita?
I went Leonard.
Oh, okay.
I went with Leonard Williams was my D tackle 2. Kind of not done justice to the stat sheet. I feel like as good of a season he's having. I also very much considered Chris Jones because like he's the number one gravity guy. Where even if he doesn't like do much in a game, the guys around him get to do whatever they want because they're like double teaming him, triple teaming him, and he's still like disruptive, despite what the stat sheet might say. He's very, very disruptive.
Yeah, he was near the top of pressures from D tackle still. I think a lot of the reason why people think he had a bad year is because he had like 5 sacks all season long, which of course isn't Chris Jones standard, but he still was disrupting things just as much as he always does. And I think George Karlaftis, he's been a good role player, but they're really leaning on him to be the finisher and another guy that's really kind of getting home. And this wasn't his best year in terms of what we've seen from him in the past. So I think Chris Jones was being keyed in on a lot this year, like far more than probably what he has been in years past. And it kind of led to people believing he wasn't as good, but he certainly was still all pro level.
Very much so.
Linebacker. This was fun. I'm very interested to hear where your linebackers are.
So we did 3. I kind of did my third one as like a strong honorable mention. I put Devin Lloyd, who is my number 1, but he was definitely pretty well behind in snaps played and games played because he missed a couple games with injury. But in terms of actual play, when he was on the field, I think he was comfortably the best. Number 2, I went Ernest Jones from the Seahawks. He's definitely, like in my opinion, the most underrated defensive player in the NFL. Also had a really cool story the last couple of years. And then number 1, I put Demario Davis, who is honestly, every time I've tuned into a Saints game, it is just someone runs the ball, met by a truck in the A gap, and it's just rinse repeat, getting met by a truck in the A gap, met by a truck in the A gap. And I'm like, this guy might be the best of the game today. He's a freak.
That's a good one, especially because the Saints defense as a whole, especially down the stretch, like, once Shuck really got going, they as a whole team just looked better. Like the defense has been playing very stingy football for a better part of the end of this year. And Demario has always been a reason why this defense has been relevant. Like he's been the spine to that unit for as long as I can remember, like literally since 2016? When did he start there?
He's been in the league for a long time. He bounced around for a little bit, and then he went. Actually, no, I think he's been there. He's been there since 2018. He's been in the league since 2012.
Yes.
My God, he's so old. I remember he was a Jet for like 5 years, a Brown for 1 year. Did really nothing. Like he did something. He was good there, but like he wasn't all pro level till now. Like that's crazy. Like linebackers born in the 80s are still killing it out here right now. That's awesome. He's so good. Real. Like every single time you tune into a Saints game, you can't not see the guy with like the sick ass arm sleeve just crushing people and destroying blockers.
Yes, him and Cam Jordan too, another guy that I saw someone tweet out. This is a tangent, but if Mike Evans is gonna get Hall of Fame consideration, make the Hall of Fame because of the streak of how many 1,000-yard seasons he had and his legacy, like why isn't Cam Jordan getting similar love? Like he is basically the defensive version of Mike Evans, just consistent level of play his entire career. Never was quite, top 2 edge rush production, but he always is somebody that you can lean on and expect consistent football from. Like that's just the Saints.
Yeah,
really.
That is the Saints. Like that's the kind of just like, even despite the owner or coach or GM, like they just have a culture over there. It's like kind of since Breeze came over, I guess really ever since like the Hurricane kind of thing, like the Saints are a different type of team now. Like it's almost like a little brotherhood over there. Like it feels like once you're a Saint, you're a Saint. It's kind of really, really cool. But him and Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Taysom Hill, even ageless wonders. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. For my linebackers, also chose Devin Lloyd as one of my 3. Having 5 interceptions as a linebacker is pretty fucking stupid. So it feels
crazy.
like a shoo-in, like super smart. Campanelli, the defensive coordinator, he's done an excellent job getting the most out of him. So I was foregoing the snaps played. I also went with Jordan Brooks. He has had a monstrous season. Like the Dolphins have like 3, if Tyreek stayed healthy, possibly 4 all pro level football players on their team, and they had a hard time, which is really sad. But that guy made 20 tackles short of the 6 on 3rd and 4th down, which is the most of anybody in the league. I thought that number was crazy. 13 tackles for loss, second amongst off-ball linebackers. And he made 17.5% of Miami's total tackles, which is the 3rd highest rate for any defender in any season since 2016, when Bobby Wagner had 19.5% of Seattle's tackles.
So insane.
This guy was all over the fucking football fields for Miami. It's not like who's that linebacker, Devin White in Vegas?
Oh my God,
he's got all those tackles. It's like, it's like a completely
he's terrible though.
He is. He's bad.
Like, genuinely. But yeah, Jordan Brooks is actually really, really good though. Like him and someone else, I don't know if you have him, but him and someone else are definitely strong honorable mentions.
I went my 3rd linebacker, my unconventional choice was Caden Ellis. I love Caden Ellis. Like he probably isn't quite all pro level, all pro 1 level, but he's always been so integral to the success of the Falcons defense, whatever it's looked like for the past couple of years. And this year specifically, we're seeing, James Pierce and the impact of Jalen Walker as pass rusher, but Caden Ellis has always been really where their pressures come from. And it's been the same case this year. He's like 2nd amongst linebackers in pressures, and he's been good in coverage. Like these past couple of weeks specifically, he has made a lot of like, what the fuck level plays as, dropping into his zone. And I don't know if you remember the rep where they were playing, I think it was the Panthers, and McMillan like ran a double move, and it looked like Ellis was just kind of like chasing him in circles, trying to get him in the end zone. But
yes,
he got embarrassed. But to his credit, it's like he was playing a flat, I believe, if I remember watching the clip back. And it's like this guy's trying his absolute dick off to bail out a safety who's nowhere to be found in the back of the end zone. It's just that really embodies Caden Ellis and how underrated I feel like he is. So I wanted to give him some flowers because I don't know, linebackers are just such a subjective position, I feel like this year.
Yeah, Jack Campbell was my other guy that I strongly considered from like a volume, impact, intelligence perspective. He was almost just too boring to put on here. Like he's been that good. He's so boring. He's boringly good that I couldn't find a spot. He's not as flashy as like an Ernest Jones who gets a bunch of turnovers, or DeMario Davis who's been in the league for so long and been so good. Corner? What do you say?
I was going to just say Carson Schlesinger was on my second team. Oh my God.
He very much was. Yes. he probably would have been on my first team, honestly, over most of these guys if he didn't get hurt too. Because he missed like 2 or 3 games himself, which just sucks. But yeah, he himself is playing like a legit all pro linebacker. Me of all people would never try to underrate Carson Schlesinger.
I just wanted to mention him just to let you know I thought of him. I did.
Yes, we're all thinking of him every day.
All right, cornerback room.
So hard.
Yeah, this was. I feel like you could have went a lot of directions. Yeah. Although one guy I thought deserved to be here over everybody, and it's been Quinion Mitchell. I like giving Eagles players credit, but I don't like Eagles fans, and I don't like their coach. So it kind of pains me a little bit. But this team plays so much man coverage, and this guy is just absurdly shut down. Ever since he's gotten in the league, he's just been quietly turning away top receivers week in and week out. Like he hasn't allowed a touchdown all year. He's got a success rate of like 68% in coverage, which is the best among corners that play on the boundary. He's a good tackler. A lot of passes defended. Like he's recorded more passes defended than completions allowed since week 9. So he's been that good.
Yeah, he's incredible. He was definitely my AP1, and I can give him credit. I don't like Eagles. I might dislike them more than you, but I liked him a lot as a prospect. He's an Ohio guy. I can give him his credit. There might be another Eagle on here eventually at some point too, which is fine. Yeah. But I didn't give him I didn't give it to any of the offensive guys. We stayed strong. Quinion, though, I think he has definitely been, in my opinion, the best like pure shutdown perimeter corner in the game this season.
Agreed. But there were a couple of guys that were close behind, but I can only choose one, and I ended up going with DJ Turner. I think DJ Turner made so many plays to start the season, and he never really stopped. I think it just kind of got quieter as the Bengals kind of fizzled into irrelevancy, unfortunately, but he still has been playing shutdown football, all season long. We've talked about him on a few episodes over the course of the season, and it's really never changed. So I went with DJ Turner as my other AP1 corner.
Yeah, I didn't, because it's so hard to put Bengals guys on here because, one, you feel like a homer, and two, it's like I've also seen him get beat. Like every single time he's gotten beat, I've watched it.
Yeah.
And because I'm a Bengals fan, like he has barely gotten beat. He has been incredible. I think he leads the NFL in PBUs, right? Like
Close to
has to. Yeah, he's getting his hands on footballs every single time they're thrown at him. But I was just like, was he really that good? Like in my head, comparing him to everyone else. I bet he probably is, but I just didn't. I was like, I feel like such a homer if I do that. But I am glad to see him. I think he's very much played all pro level, 100%. He has been the only good thing consistently on that defense the entire year. I put Derek Stingley in my corner 2 spot. It's hard. It's hard to justify it because the pass rush is so good. I think it makes him better, but he's playing at such a high level. Like the ball skills that guy has are second to none, I think, in the league. Maybe like Travis Hunter when he gets a jump ball thrown at him, but yeah, Derek Stingley plays the game like a wide receiver. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the stat that goes to pass rushers that I kind of mentioned earlier for Will Anderson, funny enough, the pressures that equate to turnovers, that stat that I mentioned.
Yeah.
The players in the secondary have to make the play for that stat to count. So Derek Stingley is the perfect type of player to have in your secondary when you have such a ferocious pass rush. He will jump on any opportunity that comes near him. And like you said, the ball skills are just so good. His ability to track a ball like a pop fly in the outfield or like a deep shot to right center. He is getting back there and tracking it every single time. It's so impressive, the recognition he plays with too, which is really a big reason why he's always around the football. It's just his play rec is so fucking high. And then he just capitalizes on the ball that falls into his lap. So
yeah,
definitely could get credit. I talked about him earlier in the year. He missed a few games, which kind of sucked, but I thought Joey Porter has been fantastic this season.
He has been.
Too. So he was on my second team. Another guy that's kind of stuck in this secondary room where it's just a bunch of not great talent, and he's doing his best, trying to do his job, really. And that's kind of what DJ Turner's circumstances have looked like until Dax Hill kind of blossomed recently. But slot corner we should go to next, right?
Yeah. I put my nickel spot.
Yeah.
I felt pretty good about Cooper DeJean here, unfortunately. I'm putting another Eagle on my list. I hate it, but a lot of the guys that play the best out of the nickel aren't pure nickels. Kyle Hamilton would easily be this to me if he counted as a nickel player, but I still value him very much as a pure safety too. But the guy that I would call I wouldn't call Cooper DeJean a corner anymore. I would straight just call him a nickel. So yeah, I think he's comfortably been the best at that pure slot guy job.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well when it comes to corners. But when I was filtering them, I was trying to differentiate who truly was that. And I was looking at coverage snaps from the slot position. And at first I only had corners filtered in. And then I added the safety filter, and I'm like, holy shit, Jalen Petrie. I didn't realize how much Jalen Petrie has played out of the slot. And he has been really the de facto for that secondary too. Everywhere. He's always around the fucking football, smoking somebody that catches it, blowing it up. I think he's got 4 interceptions on the year. The ridiculous stat I saw from Jalen Petrie's season was opposing quarterbacks have recorded a 59 passer rating when targeting Petrie, which is the lowest mark among slot corners this season. And he's got 12 passes defended, which is second most at the position. he's really done it all, from being a ball hawk to being a wrecking ball to being a tackler. There's really nothing Petrie hasn't done. And I think the controversy of going from Petrie to CJ Gardner-Johnson or vice versa makes this that much better, because CJ himself was pissed about that. I think there were some Texans fans kind of on the fence about it, but he has cashed in every single penny that they gave him. So I just didn't realize how much he truly played the position. I thought originally he was more a safety or a, box safety, but really he's just a slot corner.
He used to be very much more of like a traditional safety, but I think somewhere along the way they're like, you're not like the craziest coverage guy ever. Like, you don't have crazy range, but like, we'll just bring you closer to the line of scrimmage and then just let you demolish people. And that's been great. That has been an incredible thing for him so far. So yeah, I thought about him. He's my second team. I like Jaquan McMillan out of Denver has also been like probably the best of those like pure like sub 5'11", like Mike Hilton, the Kenny Morey-esque slot corners. But I think definitely Petrie's been the best nickel safety, like pure nickel safety. Absolutely.
Yes, 100%. And the safety position really almost doesn't feel like a safety position anymore as far as like who the top guys are. They aren't, your over the top ball hawk blanket guys anymore. They're the ones that are playing every single position that's not D tackle, really. And to me, the top two there were Kyle Hamilton and Derwin James, like playing very similar brands of football, physical at the line of scrimmage, forces in the run game. The stat that stood out to me for Kyle was the Ravens allowing just 3.6 yards per carry when he's been aligned as a linebacker, which is the fewest yards per carry league wide. And then they're like 5+ when he's, aligned anywhere else. Like, that's how impactful he's been. And Derwin James, like, I just watched Derwin James, man. Like, he's another eye test guy where you can tell where he is on the field constantly. And Jesse Minter has had a field day rotating him around the field.
Yeah, like he's one of the guys where like you can't look at like the advanced stats of what he gives up, because they have this like 215-pound veteran safety playing like perimeter corner sometimes. Like they'll put him like in man coverage against a receiver that runs like a 4-3. They'll have him playing linebacker. They'll have him on the line of scrimmage. Like they will do anything with him because he's like the perfect. He was Hamilton before Hamilton was Hamilton. He was doing that same shit, and he was that good for a little bit. He fell off for a stretch of time, probably like the last 3 or so years, but I thought last year he was great. And this year he was also unbelievable. I had him as my All-Pro too as well with Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, he easily, both of these guys, I think, deserved it. I could not think of really anyone else though that could have been here. Like,
no, I thought Jesse Bates has been a lot better this season. He's a guy that I thought about for that. He's kind of one of those, like, I feel like he's just always involved in some kind of turnover. But yeah, nobody else, like no traditional safety was super close to me at all.
No. When doing my second team All-Pro though, I did consider, I'm like, maybe Cole Bishop could be put here. There's no one here that I feel so good about that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I think Cole Bishop could be second team All-Pro. I think he has had surprisingly that good of a season. Like, I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it, but no. It's just insane.
I've always defended Cole Bishop. I have posts about Cole Bishop like on my page. I'm like, please give this guy a chance. He's actually good. Please. He is good. He's like really, really good. I think he like a couple weeks to start the season where he was kind of down.
Yes.
Where like it's hard to give him that credit, but like post Jordan Poyer, I guess, is like the timeline here. Post Jordan Poyer's arrival, he's been All-Pro 1 easily. Like he's been so good.
Well, that leaves us with just 4 final positions, the special teams positions. Where did you go for? I feel like most of it is chalk, but I want to hear what you went with, especially for kicker.
Yeah, kicker. I went with Brandon Aubrey still. I know he missed a couple down the stretch, but like some of the stuff he's done to win games too, like just casually hitting 64-yard game-winning field goals, like he's nasty. He is so nasty. Punter, I went with Michael Dixon. And returner, I went with Shamir DK. Punter, Michael Dixon. I had Austin McNamara put in here earlier with the Jets punter, but he had like a 30-yard punt earlier, so I scratched him immediately. And I put in Dixon.
That's hilarious. Well, I also went with Dixon as my punter. I went with Cam Little as my kicker, and that also was changed as of today, simply because he hit a 70-yarder in the preseason. People forgot about that, which shouldn't count, but in my mind, I'm going to let it.
It should.
He hit a 68-yarder to break the record earlier this year, and then today hit another 67-yarder, which probably would have cleared 70 easily. So, and analytically speaking, like I think he's been like 88% on the year. He hasn't kicked like nearly as many field goals as, guys like Brandon Aubrey have, for example, but I just wanted to give him credit for the long kicks he's hit alone. And Puntalytics is a Twitter page I follow, and they track EPA for punters and their impact. And they said Michael Dixon is by far punter one. So
I've had him there for a long time, years.
Michael Dixon.
I have had him as my punter one for years.
I didn't realize. I didn't know his movement.
He moves.
He moves. I apologize, Michael Dixon. I was
Yes.
unaware. Shamir DK, of course, for return man, easily as well.
Yes.
That will wrap up our all-pro lists. If you guys enjoyed, let us know down in the comments. Let us know what players we snubbed, what players you agreed with, what players you think should have been on here. All down in the comment section. You can join our Discord linked in the description below and share those thoughts further as well. But if you guys enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in episode 85.